and I am Kat, aka Kat Upendi, aka your favorite Afrobeats DJ, aka DJ Waddy Wine, because not only am I a DJ who likes to drink wine, I am also a DJ who likes to make you wine your waist when you dance to my DJ sets. Genius.
Period.
Like I said, I am Kat. Welcome to episode 2. This is Through the Grapevine, where we go through the grapevine and into the wine class. We talk about everything wine. Just wine. Of course, not only am I a DJ, I am also a food scientist, and I am very much a lover of wine and things to do with the making of wine, the whole process involved in the making of wine. So down south in the continent of Africa, there is a lovely country called South Africa. Very creative name, I know. Here in South Africa, we are currently in the season of autumn, and that means, of course, it is getting a little bit cooler. We're moving away from summer and going into winter, so autumn is, that transitional period. The nights especially are getting very much cooler. The daytime is still a little bit hot, but like around 5-6 p.m. you start to feel that little breeze. I like to enjoy different wines in different seasons, so because it is beginning to get cooler now, I want wines that are gonna warm me up a little bit more, as opposed to refreshing me more on a hot summer's day. I'm moving away from your light, crispy, citrusy type wines and moving more into medium-bodied wines that have a little more bold flavors and characters and such. We are not going quite into your Cabernet Sauvignons and your Merlots. Put those away. We're saving those for winter. I am going to introduce you guys to a couple of wines you can enjoy while the weather's still figuring out, do I want to be hot or cold, which is just right in the middle. And for that, I have decided to do a 4-part series on these wines. I'm really excited to take you through them. It's gonna be quite nice. So these are wines I have had before, so I already know quite much about the wines, as opposed to my first video. I was having it for the first time with you guys, so that was my first impression of the wine. If I were to have it a second or third time, I might have a different view of the wine, but that was first impression. So this is a wine I've had before. But without further ado, I would like to introduce the first wine for our series. Let me not be annoying. I have this lovely bottle of Chianti. And what Chianti is first of all, it's an Italian wine. And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds so expensive and hana. But let me tell you something. This is a Chianti DOCG. That is basically a regional or appellation code that can tell you a little bit about the type of wine that it is. And usually DOCGs are entry-level wines in Italy. They are entry-level, in fact, a very inexpensive bottle. I don't want to get too much into the regions and appellations and whatever. Chianti is not a grape variety. how Europeans like to label their wines. The French do it, the Spanish do it, the Portuguese, the Italians. Yeah, how they like to label their wines is through using the region that the wine is from. So Chianti is a wine region in Italy. In South Africa, we will have the brand name, or whatever we've decided to name this wine, and it'll probably say somewhere Merlot or Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, but in Europe, the region that the wine is from will tell you what kind of wine it is. So in the region of Chianti, Italy, their main grape that is grown there is called Sangiovese. Sangiovese is a very high, the tannins can be medium to high. If you don't know what tannins are, have you ever had a red wine and it dries out your tongue? You can kind of feel dryness if you rub your tongue on the roof of your mouth. It's dry, so that is an effect caused by tannins in the wine, just in case you did not know. The Sangiovese grape is also high in acid. It does produce a dry red wine. I think I forgot to mention, it is a red wine, okay? But it is not as full-bodied and as complex as usually your Cabernet Sauvignons, your Merlots. I like it when it is a little bit more chilled and not warm. It tastes like very warm liquid fruit when it is warm, and that is not nice. It does not taste good to me. So I don't know, you can try it out straight off the shelf, or you can keep it in your fridge for a couple of minutes, maybe an hour or so, just not too long. Just let it semi-chilled. So this is a semi-chilled wine. I don't know at what degrees it is, but it's not cold, and it's not warm either. So yeah, did I miss anything? It is a dry red wine, high tannins, high acidity, and usually produces aromas and flavors of red cherries, plums. Yeah, and they are very simple wines, like the Chianti DOCG. Very simple, very inexpensive. I got this bottle from Woolworths for 70 Rand, which I think is, brilliant for an international wine. Yeah. Let's get into the bottle. I'm going to pour myself a glass. I have my glass. Okay. So like always, just a small portion to taste. You don't want to fill your glass too much if you're, just tasting it. And this also just allows more oxygen to come into contact with the wine and aerate it more and bring out all those flavors, aromas. This is a pale ruby, very light in color. Already from the color itself, you can kind of tell that this is not going to be a full-bodied wine, So it is a very pale color. When you look through this glass, you can literally see my fingernails, they're right there. It's a pale ruby. It is a pale ruby. Yeah, so from the color we can kind of tell that this is not a very full-bodied wine. Very light, most likely a very simple wine, nothing too complicated going on. I'm gonna give it a swirly swirl, get it well oxygenated, and get the color, get the aromas, the flavors and the aromas just moving, so that it can come up and we can smell and taste everything that's happening in here. So when I smell, on the nose it is quite pronounced. Cherries. Ooh, that smells really good. I really like the smell of this wine. The first time I had this wine was last year, and I didn't really quite enjoy it then. I think also because I had it when it was warm. I don't recall enjoying the smell quite like this. I'm getting a lot of cherries, red cherries, some strawberries, a little bit of strawberries. It smells a little bit like strawberry jam. Before I taste, there is something I like to do to just get all the flavors, out while the wine is in my mouth. And that is like while I drink, after taking a gulp. Of course, you let it sit in your mouth. Do not swallow. Let it sit in your mouth, and you just draw in a little bit of air into your mouth. So you just, and it helps oxygenate it a little bit more in your mouth as well. Apart from the red cherries and the strawberries that I've mentioned on the nose, it is a bit spicy. Like, I'm getting like white pepper in my mouth, which I didn't quite smell that, So yeah, wine, it's different on the nose sometimes. Sometimes it's exactly the same. But here, I picked up something new as I tasted it. So how you smell it isn't always how your mouth is going to perceive it. This is a high acidity wine. You can tell because as you drink, your mouth just starts to water. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are into high acidity wines. I do like them. I do enjoy them. Pretty nice wine. The tannins they're not too hectic. I'd say medium tannins. It's not heavy on the tannins, which I like because I do not like too many tannins. Just that dryness in my mouth I don't quite enjoy. But I think it also depends what I'm having my wine with, if I am eating anything with it. So this is, again, not a full-bodied wine. Very medium-bodied. It's not light either. It's not very... It kind of sits on your tongue a little bit, but not as heavy as a Cab Sav would. It's smooth, it's balanced. I think the acidity and the flavors and the tannins, I feel like everything is quite well balanced. And the finish, it has a pretty decent long finish, So I do think this wine is great value for money, because 70 bucks for an Italian wine, and these are people who specialize in wine. I think if you do want to have something from outside of the country, this is definitely a good place to start. This wine is a very good wine. What's weird is the first time that I did try this wine last year, I did not enjoy it at all. But I think I've since learned that medium-bodied wines are just nicer when they are a little bit chilled. I don't like them warm, So I think that's really helped. It's helped change my perception of the wine. I think this is a really nice wine. I would buy this again, definitely. I think you guys should go out and buy it too. Like I said, it's 70 Rand at Woolworths. This is good. Of course, I am going to pour myself some more. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe. Why do the dogs always start barking when I'm about to end my video? Like, could you not have waited like 2 minutes, bruh? 2 minutes. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment. Well, that is all for today. I hope you learned something new about a grape that you might not have known or known about. And yeah, I hope I continue to teach you more about the lovely, crazy, versatile world that is wine. I will see you next week with another wine on Through the Grapevine and Into the Wine Glass. Thank you. Bye.